Content Area Research Group, Social Studies and History. The Common Core has affected the content areas, and we will be discussing social studies. The job of the historian is to sift through the fragments that history leaves behind to create a narrative of what happened. In creating that narrative, the historian selects and organizes the fragments, documentary evidence, to use as evidence in support of an argument. The content area standards are embedded into the ELA standards in kindergarten through 5th grade, but in 6th through 12, the ELA and content area subjects have to work together to define the college and career-ready literacy expectations. The content area expectations go much deeper than memorizing dates and events and taking a test. The Common Core plays a dynamic role in all classrooms. In the social studies classroom, students will read like a historian, analyze primary and secondary documents, think about the point of view and the bias of text, and form opinions based on evidence. The standards build in depth over the years, creating students who can read and comprehend complex content area text independently. This shift has put new demands on content area classrooms. Children are expected to read, write, and speak about topics in their content classrooms proficiently and with a purpose, so teachers must explicitly teach these skills through the content. You can visit this Prezi to see how other states are addressing the changes with teachers who have been teaching for a long time. It's kind of an overall introduction. The Common Core website can be visited here to see the history and social studies strands for grades 6 through 12. New terms are coming into play with the Common Core changes. One of them is the disciplinary literacy approach to instruction. This is where literacy is embedded throughout in the social studies classroom. They use diverse text with varying text complexity and topics. They may be picture books, novels, primary and secondary sources, audio clips, video clips. You use all of these to get your point across. Inquiry-based learning is expected and encouraged, and explicit modeling of everything that these children need to do is very important. We need to teach kids how to read like a historian, think, question, listen, speak, support their claims, debate with each other, and use technology effectively. All of this with the understanding of the validity through the eyes of a historian. This also gives us the opportunity to reach our diverse learners. There will be less remedial teaching and lecturing at kids from a textbook. They're all going to be engaged in authentic literacy activities. We can scaffold them through text complexity. Teachers model how to think deeply about concepts. Teachers facilitate group work and revisit key concepts through multiple perspectives so that kids can read and write and ask questions in their content areas, all of them. I also included on here, in page 18, there are really important guiding questions when planning lessons. They're Buell's guiding questions. He recommends questioning routines that encourage deeper thinking, like, why did this happen? How did this affect the people that are in people throughout history? Also, if you click on here, you can go to a page where they develop essential questions for inquiry-based learning, which will definitely help you in your planning. Disciplinary literacy principles in content matters, I thought, were a great guiding force for teachers too. If you're thinking in these terms, you can plan lessons that will reach the Common Core goal. Principle 1, knowledge and thinking must go hand in hand. Students become seekers of knowledge and understanding about history through thematic inquiry. Learning is apprenticeship. Students participate in authentic inquiry and investigation about historical events, people, and time periods. Teachers, as mentors of apprentice, students are coached in effective, rigorous historical literacy. Classroom culture socializes intelligence. Students participate in a community that encourages their voice and respects their thinking. And instruction and assessment drive each other. This will be addressed later by Stephanie, but this is just to say that students demonstrate their understanding of the content through various different assessments, formal, informal, formative, no just test on Friday. And what's very important, I think, is we teach students to be reflective about their learning, and we give them formative feedback that they can take and learn from and make changes to make their thinking and learning better. Critical literacy is also a new term, and this is where we learn to respect the differences in our classroom. It welcomes collaborative thinking and discussion about topics and themes in history. It encourages critical exploration and evaluation of events that shape our world and the children's world. It recognizes and affirms diverse background and experiences. This gives the kids a sense of respect. It raises their motivation and involvement when we are welcoming their differences and using them to prove a point and to learn through history. It also teaches them to give a critical stance. It empowers children to understand the social issues they face daily. In the article that I read, there are 5 themes of critical literacy. Theme 1 is examining multiple perspectives. This teaches students to ask questions that will raise critical awareness, approach text from multiple perspectives, and search for missing or silenced voices in text. We don't often think about the people who we haven't heard from. We just hear one point of view, so I thought this was interesting. Theme 2, find the authentic voice. Understand that voices heard may be privileged voices. They may be biased, and some are not heard. Theme 3, recognize social barriers and cross borders of separation. This is where students learn to knock down the negative barriers so they can relate it to what is going on in the classroom and in their own lives. We teach them that negative thoughts of people create, biased opinions, and they don't give everybody a voice. Theme 4, finding one's identity. Not all children are the same, just as people depicted in history. Recognizing these differences and how they impact one's identity is important to accurately discuss historical events and helps give students our sense of worth. And Theme 5, the call to service, participation in service learning projects that connect historical and social injustices of the past into the present world, gives students the opportunity to help others. They innately want to help and be a good person, so it is our duty to provide that for them. In the social studies classroom, it's the logical place to teach these students about the past and give them the power to affect their future. Show them that they matter and that they have voice. Trina will be explaining the text and materials used to achieve these goals.